Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Greenhouse podcast recap and discussion. Taylor, how are you today?
I am good, just living the 9 to 5 life. And just as surprised as you are to see Edmund return for 2 episodes in a row.
Edmund, how does it feel that you have now made it to 2 episodes, even though today you were late?
Baby, I'm a businesswoman. No one's late because I'm here when we started. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. And, sometimes I need to be working on the business behind the scenes and not always be on camera.
Okay, well, speaking of businesswomen doing business things and working behind the scenes, we have our one and only, our greatest sister here to talk her shit, Dusty Buns.
Hey, I'm excited to be here. This was a good round, so this is a good one to be a part of. Thank you.
Yes. So we have a little bit of a time crunch today. So we're gonna not fly through things, but we're gonna go a little quicker than normal because we love to talk our shit. So we're just gonna jump right in to the greenhouse challenge called Water Races. How did we feel about this challenge? This was new, I think, right? We've never seen this before.
I don't
Did the
think
toilet
so.
paper give you PTSD, Edmund?
A little bit, although mine didn't tear. I have to say, that was some strong toilet paper.
No, it
Maybe that was
was.
definitely Charmin Ultra 2-ply. Not no great value.
No, ma'am.
No, I liked the challenge. And personally, I think my ass would have been filling it all the way up like Cody did and just hoping for the best. But a TMZ report says that apparently afterwards, the strategy that people think would have been best was to barely fill it so the cup knocks over. Yeah.
Been said. When me and Matthew were watching it, I said I would not fill it up as much because if they try and tug it, the cup is going to topple over easier. And that's what my strategy would have been.
I think I was pro filling it to the very, very top where it's already like almost overflowing, and then just like hoping they say one and they barely pull and it just everywhere.
I would have done the same thing. I wouldn't even. I thought honestly, I would have thought it would have been reversed. The less amount of water would have made it flip like easier. So I would have been screwed anyway. I was looking at this challenge like, ooh, baby, this isn't for me.
And like Taylor said, Cody was filling that thing up. You could literally see the bulb of water over the top.
Literally.
And I don't know how Cody didn't spill it, even just placing it on the toilet paper every round. Besides the last one.
So the first 4 people to be eliminated from the challenge all got seeds. Would you want to go in the first 4 sets, or would you not want to be picked until the very end? Well, that's my question. Because do you go for the potential seeds, or do you go all the way to the end, not doing anything, and getting 4th place and lose and get nothing?
Apparently, seeds were an issue this round.
Oh.
So everyone was talking about these people have too many seeds. These people have too many seeds. So you know what? I'll take my spot in the greenhouse.
But it's like the same thing, like challenge threats have been brought up the first episode. So apparently it's just a lose-lose no matter how you do. So I guess for me, I would just want to not have to pick people and do what I do best and smile and nod.
Smile and nod. I would have gone for the seed for sure, even though, girls are giving them away like candy right now.
Bro, seeds. I'm always going to say I'm never going to turn down a seed unless it's for I'm going to nominate you as a pawn and give you a seed with a sunflower. Now, no, you could keep that seed, but I'll take all the other ones. Thank you.
Agreed.
Did you guys think people would have talked more about certain people picking them or like certain matchups and stuff?
For sure. Fuck your seed count. I'll use that to my advantage. But yeah, why'd you pick me or why'd you pick these people? I think that's really what's important here. But we didn't see a lot of talk about.
I feel like it was very cordial in the beginning because it was like everyone went once almost. And I was like, why are we playing so nice so early? Like, this is the time to, you already won? Get back up in there.
No, tea on that. And did we really hear any conversation about who picked you? Because my memory's a little murky on episode 4. I don't recall any, personally.
I don't think so.
No.
No, I don't remember much.
So we have our 3 winners, Connor, Cody, and Mackenzie. How do we feel about them winning?
I only like one of them.
Oh,
Name names.
name names.
I'm starting to. Okay, at first I was weary, but I'm really starting to like Mackenzie. Connor's playing too hard too quickly, like it was stated multiple times during the 2 episodes or during the round. And Cody girl,
Yeah, I think I'd agree. I like Mackenzie a lot. I like Connor from a viewing aspect. If I was playing with Connor, I would want to tear my hair out, throw myself over the fence, and just run away. And then Cody, I don't know how I feel about Cody yet. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
I think Cody is good at the game, but I think people are catching on to that and using that to their advantage. So that way people are weary of him. And I think Cody had a better round 1 because I feel like he had the smarts and people weren't looking at him. But also now people have to look at him because he's the sunflower. So I definitely think the whole nomination process of this was a little messy.
yes, it was.
A lot of too many promises when it's not super necessary, or just not standing on business from what they wanted to do at when they first got into the greenhouse. There was a lot of flippy floppy, which again, I would not trust if I were one of the people not in the greenhouse, and all of the changes and plans and all this tea spilling and exchanging and stuff came up. I'd be like, this is a little fishy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the greenhouse this week is definitely interesting because we had someone who's just on the block, and we have a couple, and Cody has been someone that people are starting to feel distrust towards and kind of starting to clock. So definitely an interesting makeup, but I do think we are seeing the same old sob story of let's get the people out who have seeds, and that just starts mad chaos.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Like,
I feel
eventually-
like
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I feel like people still don't really have a lot of reasons yet to go after people. So they're just kind of, now that they got Daniel out, I mean, they're still talking about like the whole lawyer group, but I feel like now they're just trying to look for another reason to put people up so that way they don't get blood on their hands. And they're like, yeah, like I'm just putting you up because you have the most seats and like you're gonna come down. So I'm like really doing you a favor. No, bitch, you're draining my bank.
Exactly.
And like it's not gonna make sense here soon because like so many seeds get flooded into the game through like the seed and immunity challenge, just like hidden seed hunt, nomination, like all this stuff, and then like people give each other seeds. Like there are gonna be too many seeds in the game to be like, yeah, I'm gonna put you up because of seeds. Like where's gonna be that shift? Because eventually you're gonna want them seeds, and you're not gonna want them all out of the game.
Yeah, I
Or
just
the
missed
people
to
that you
all
need to work with
do.
won't have them.
I know, literally, that's like, can we all just do like a little diva circle right now and manifest that season 7 of the greenhouse, someone there is going to be like, wow, like, what if I worked with someone because they had a lot of seeds because it'll benefit me? And I'm just waiting for this light bulb to go off because, like, it has to click. Like, seeds are so important, like, they're scary, but you can use them to your advantage a lot faster than you can just getting them all out because there's always going to be seeds in the game, so make them work.
At this rate, the fucking fly trap's not gonna be bought until like final 5 when there's like 7 seeds left in the game because no one has seeds. Like
Speaking of using seeds to buy powers, there was a lot of talk about going for the green thumb this round, which I'm not sure how much homework these players did, but I don't know if they're trying to take a page out of Ross's book in holding onto a green thumb. I don't know if, spoiler alert, Connor will be able to hold onto it as long as Ross was able to. But how do you guys feel about this whole green thumb plan? And then like Dylan kind of being in on the plan, but then Dylan getting enough seeds to uproot himself. So then it just quickly flipped to, well, I'm just going to save myself instead of going for the green thumb. What do you guys think about that?
I think it's Greenhouse's first MLM marketing, pyramid because everyone's getting pulled in to be part of this plan, but it's really only going to benefit Connor.
Right.
Connor's going to have it, and it was supposed to be Dylan's way of like starting a group, starting a plan, and then they were like, well, like it's really going to benefit us. And then I think they asked Taylor, right? But multiple people are getting included in this plan. So it's not really hush hush, and it's not a way to build an alliance, especially if it leaks that, you know, they don't really need some of these people. So I don't know. I don't really get it, but I think we're going to see it come into play just because like so much was spent on this green thumb plan.
Yeah,
I definitely agree.
I think I like that the green thumb is like being more of like a thing in Greenhouse now, because I feel like the first 4 seasons, was it ever bought? No, I don't know statistics on it,
Didn't
but like
Ross get it? Or no, that was 5.
he got it in All Stars, right? So it was like
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen it until then. So I'm glad that it's like getting her moment now, because she was always just sitting on that auction table, dusty. No one wants her. Like the little discount sticker was put on her, and Connor started picking her up. But I think it was very weird that Connor was going to everyone like, I have a plan. All these people are going to give me seeds for it, because like at the end of the day, one person gets that power, and you're letting Connor hold on to it.
I agree,
No,
and
for me.
I think Connor. This whole plan, I think Connor was too aggressive with this plan, so I do agree with Edmund. He's not going to be able to hold on to it that long. So I don't really know if it really what was, I don't know. Was it really worth all the effort to get it?
I don't know. I think it will, because I think Connor, as much as he is kind of playing aggressively and being kind of out there, you kind of see Mackenzie during this round trying to kind of clean up Connor's mess in certain conversations, which I think is going to help him. And then if he does, well, he's probably going to end up using the green thumb at some point, and I think that will help also tie up loose ends from all of this mess that kind of happened.
Fair.
Yeah.
That's true. Mackenzie's really Connor's saving grace, because she's going behind the scenes like, okay, let me go talk to Seth, because Seth's got issues with Connor. Let me go do this because Connor's doing this.
Yeah, whenever I just think about Mackenzie and probably how this was to watch Connor kind of go around so chaotically, I just think of like the audio that's like, that's my man's kind of thing. So I kind of love that we just see them playing such different games. And so yeah, I think it'll be interesting.
It's a good balance, I think, between the two of them.
Yeah,
For sure.
Speaking of balance,
Our favorite challenge.
our favorite challenge.
So it's the roll the dice and get a 6 asterisk. We changed it to a 1. And then you can stack all the dice up once you get all 1s. JP, Courtney, Stephanie, Dylan, and Seth went for immunity. And Aaron, Kai, Louie, Taylor, and Trinity went for seeds. How do we feel about the change from a 6 to a 1 this season? Because we don't need 3 6s in our lives.
I get it, but I think that would throw me off more. Like knowing it was supposed to be a certain number and then someone changing it right before.
Definitely.
I'd be like, can we just like do the number we want?
Right. True. I would have been still probably going for 6s, because it would have confused me too.
Honor system. I have the double girls over here.
They can get that wobbly table that Stephanie was so sad about, because I think her tower dropped twice, at least once, by someone else hitting it.
Speaking of, let's bring it up. There was a little drama with the challenge. Stephanie was, with what players were saying, was angry that JP was hitting the table during the challenge, which that would piss me off too.
Right.
It would piss me off as well.
But unfortunately,
okay, but was he doing it on purpose?
No.
You guys did see though who it actually was, right?
Seth.
It was Seth tanking someone else's game. It was 100% Seth's hip thrust into the table that knocked down Stephanie's tower.
It was.
And I think he probably had no idea. No one had any idea, but like JP was clearly feeling guilty, at least a little bit, or at least nervous that Stephanie was pissed at him.
But
it was
he did not care. He said,
No,
if
at
she's
all.
mad, what the fuck
Like
ever.
literally arms up, just right.
He literally took it. He was like, "Okay, yeah, I'm sorry."
He's like, I got immunity. You can't do shit this week. Sorry.
But what do you guys think about that? If you felt like someone had messed you up in a challenge, but like the challenge is done and over with, would you bring it up?
Yeah, because I'm petty. I will make my point be known. So then later I could be like, oh, I'm targeting them because of this. If I had nothing to go on, they sabotaged me before.
I want to say I
Nasty.
wouldn't, but when I get mad, and I get petty too. So I probably would have also. I probably would have ran right up to them, like just like Stephanie did. Been like, "Hey, girl, you messed me up."
The only time that really happened for me was, speaking of the toilet paper, was the toilet paper challenge. But Shakira won, so I wasn't really mad because I was working with Shakira. So I was like, whatever, that's fine.
But yeah, I don't know. I think there has to be a balance. Like I think you have to like really go about it jokingly, just because like you never know if like even you saying that will just like rub someone the wrong way, especially in such a fast-paced game. But I obviously respect a call out. But I would be like, if someone came at me for messing them up in a challenge, I'd be like shitting bricks, honestly. So
But that's Stephanie. She's gonna let you know how she feels.
And well,
Miss
and
Stephanie,
does.
when I started seeing Stephanie get her little angry moment with the table and getting hit, I was like, here comes Stephanie. Like normally it comes out a little later, like she can hold it in for a bit, but I was like, oh, the Red Bull was not hitting this morning. She is ready to go.
right.
No.
And for this challenge, we had JP, Courtney, Stephanie, Dylan, and Seth go for immunity, with Aaron, Kai, Louie, Taylor, and Trinity going for seeds. Did anything stick out about who went for what?
Well, what
I
did you guys
think
think
it's
about the whole just raise your hand thing instead of Taylor doing the usual, like you have a minute and pick a side?
well, they raised their hand the first time.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Usually Taylor would be
Oh.
like, okay, you guys have a minute. By the end of the minute, you have to pick one side to stand on, whether you want to compete for seeds or immunity. So do you think the whole hand raising is different? Because if you see someone raise their hand, you might want to keep yours down or raise it also, or...
I think it's just space. I think
Yeah, I
in
think
the
it's the
living
same
room they don't have
thing to me.
enough space because like I think they still have like a minute. And like if I see Taylor raise her hand and I don't want to go against her in the immunity, like I'm gonna keep my hand down. But if I don't want Taylor to get immunity and I think I can beat her, I'm gonna raise it if she raises it.
Yeah, I bet they still have time, but if they didn't have time, that is kind of interesting because you kind of have to gauge
Yeah.
pretty quick. I'd definitely be raising that arm slowly if I was gonna do it that quick.
On the edge of the couch and if she needs to just real quick.
Hey, girl.
I do think it's interesting that Trinity went for seeds though, considering round one, they were like, let's target the people for seeds, and she already has two. And then if she wins, she gets more, which spoiler alert, she does win. So I thought that was really interesting because you kind of see everyone else with like some sort of seeds do immunity.
And I think she just she said she like knew that like she needed to not win. And then made a confession, I think, right after saying, so I probably should have gone for seeds. I mean, I thought it was interesting, but I don't think it's what she should have done because she just went from a power spot. So
I definitely agree with that. So for this situation with immunity and seeds, only an X amount of people could go for each, right? Is that correct?
No.
Oh yeah, then I have no idea then, girly. I was looking at this and I'm like, well, if that was the case, I see the people that went for seeds, I see most of them being more like passive players. So like if there was like an X amount for here and X amount for here, I can see the players that went for seeds kind of be like, okay, cool, you want that? That's fine, I'll do this. I don't see them being very aggressively trying to go for immunity. But if there was, since that's not the case, I don't know what she did either there.
yeah, sometimes Taylor does specify that a certain like it has to be an even split, and I know here it's 5 and 5, but I'm not sure that he did make that a requirement for this.
I don't think he did
challenge.
Either.
Yeah, I don't think I heard it.
And
yeah. So Trinity wins seeds, JP wins immunity, which I believe Seth just almost barely won immunity, which that's kind of ironic considering how the round shakes out. But we go into the talks of the greenhouse of Connor, Mackenzie, and Cody again, kind of bring up this green thumb plan. Mackenzie's kind of starting to plant seeds that she's not really fucking with Trinity, and she thinks Trinity is a threat. What do you guys think about this? Do you think Trinity is a threat?
I think
No.
she's perceived
I don't
as
think so
one
either.
at this point.
Yeah.
I think it was smart on Mackenzie's move to say Trinity because she is so out there. She had just won the challenge before. She won the seed challenge. Sorry, she was in the greenhouse and then won the seed challenge. So I think if a name's going to get pushed, I think Trinity is the perfect name to push because she was also seen as like a face for helping coordinate the vote with Daniel as well. But
I think
from a viewer's perspective, is she like super threatening? I don't think she's really done anything crazy.
No, I agree. I wouldn't say she's threatening either. If we're thinking like who would have her back, I don't think anybody really would right now, considering we see a conversation where Dylan is told to step back from being like connected to Trinity. I don't think she has a lot of people. And yes, I do think she can be seen as a challenge threat eventually, but right now she has no seeds. She doesn't have any allies. I don't personally, as a viewer, see her as a threat either.
I think it's too early to like classify someone as a threat in the way that like Trinity's playing right now. I think the only way that you could like classify someone as a threat is like if you're like Connor and you're just very in the spotlight. There's like the like trio that's like not a trio but is a trio, and then now you're holding power and you're actively like pushing to get like power in the game. I think that's how you could be seen as threatening. I don't know what Trinity has done up until this point other than winning 2 challenges. That honestly, one was kind of luck, and then the other one was also semi luck, and then just balance. So I don't know. I guess it's like a good thing to push so it's someone else's name out.
And also, to be fair, like maybe to us she's not a threat, but like aside from maybe Connor, who's being more threatening at this point, so she might be the biggest threat at this moment. But I think also, like, obviously Mackenzie's not going to do this. I would find Connor more threatening at this point because he just was about to be voted out unanimously, and then like it was a struggle to get Daniel to have even a few votes, you know, like from Seth and Courtney. So I'd be more threatened by someone who can flip a vote so fast versus someone who wins kind of a crapshoot challenge and has a couple seeds.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think
social capital, mama.
Yeah, I think Mackenzie is threatened by Trinity because I think Mackenzie's a gamer, so she's thinking rounds in advance. She knows Trinity's a yapper, and I think she's worried about Trinity kind of steering things moving forward just because she is so vocal, when I think Mackenzie wants things to go her way and her way only, especially covering up for her man. But there's also talks about Stephanie being a flip-flopper, which we did kind of say in the last podcast that like Dylan and Stephanie were kind of going back and forth. So even though Dylan's kind of in on this plan, which is why I think they're not talking about him, why do you think Dylan isn't getting the same flack that Stephanie is?
Because he's in the room.
He's a threat. Dylan is a huge threat in my opinion. Social threat, hands down, boots. Like Connor and Dylan are the top 2 threatening people for me if I were in the game. So he's not getting the pushback that Stephanie is because he's so well liked.
Yeah,
I think that, and then also I think with Stephanie being in a power position last round and like the kind of flowers are a very influential way, and she kept going back and forth. I think that's why she's kind of seen more as like the flip-flopper threat than anyone else currently.
which I also like. I know this goes a little bit later, and like Stephanie makes this plea herself, but I also think it's kind of fucking crazy that people are coming at Stephanie for being a flip-flopper. Like all she did was like be told about a plan and was saying like showing her willingness to do it. She has no control over the fact that she's getting seeds because like did she nom Daniel?
I don't think so.
I don't think Daniel was her nom.
No,
Oh no, she was
Oh no, she
Sula.
didn't. She didn't nom at
Yeah.
all.
So like she, you know what I'm saying? She didn't control the noms, like so she can't like it's not like she put him up to get the seeds. Like, she thought Connor was fine with Connor going, and then helped change it because that's who they wanted gone. So she showed her willingness to be open. And now they're saying she's a flip-flopper, and I think that's so stupid. And I know this is a little bit off topic, but I just knew. I was like, Dylan and Stephanie, if you flip, this is so bad for your game. Like, this is not your group. And so it just sucks that we're seeing the downfall of that the very next round.
Agreed. I also agree with what you just said, Taylor. I don't understand calling Stephanie a flip-flopper. Stephanie's really done what she said she was going to do.
She's so loyal.
She's been super loyal. So when Stephanie gets really upset this round, I understand completely why she would be, because she literally is getting screwed this round.
For sure.
Yeah.
So we see Seth, Kai, and Stephanie all saying that they feel nervous about the flowers. Is it smart?
You can't make this shit up.
Is it smart to sit there in front of people and be like, I feel nervous with the flowers? Because personally, that's giving someone an in to go run to the flowers and be like, they already don't feel comfortable with you as a power or as a flower, so just put them up anyways.
I feel like Seth's saying it though. I mean, that's just Seth. He's just gonna be honest. But I agree with you generally.
Same. I agree. I don't think it's smart to do that, but again, with Seth, he's too honest, and it bites him in the ass.
Yeah. I think Seth should feel nervous just because of all the drama of round one. And now seeing who's in the greenhouse. I don't really know why Kai feels nervous, but
I don't know either.
That
was interesting to me because she's friends with Cody outside of this. So if you have a friend in power, you would think that they would also try and push to keep you safe. And it's not like Connor did anything against her round one.
Well, I guess she put up Connor, right?
Oh yeah. Or did she put up
Daniel? Yeah, because Trinity nominated Daniel, I think. Because that's when Daniel tried to get Kai to nominate him so he could get a seed. But then
so I guess
that's when Trinity and Kai talked. Yeah. But then Stephanie says she feels nervous too, which I don't really understand why.
Well, I get she put kind of in her head, and I think the one thing with Stephanie is once it gets in her head, she will run with it. Is I'm the only one without a duo, so now it makes sense just to get rid of me, so no one else gets seeds. And I think because everyone was so worried about seeds, and then the seed conversation got brought up again, I think that was just another thing in her head of oh, it could be put on me, and I could just go home next. And then she kind of manifested it almost.
Yeah, literally, quite actually, yeah. I agree with that. I think Stephanie got into her head, and we see it happen. And we see a typical Stephanie spiral, and she almost got herself eliminated. And I feel good old.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think about Cody wanting to nominate Louis to kind of kill this perception of this trio that got called out at the last banishment?
I think it would have been a bad idea.
I roll. You're already called out as being a trio. If you put them up, they're going to be oh, you're trying to disband that rumor. If you don't put them up, you're going with it. So it's it's a lose-lose either way because no one's going to believe it. So just leave him off the block if you don't want him to go home.
Right.
But also, I feel if he were to put up Louis, then people could be we'll see how quick Cody is to turn on his allies. And
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel anyone would have had problem with what Cody was doing this round, no matter what he did. So
yeah.
You might as well keep someone who's your ally safe.
Yeah. So I want to give Aaron some spotlight because Aaron was working with that banked vote to the flowers. And it was working, and she was saying all the right things, in my opinion. How would you guys react if Aaron was bringing this pitch to you, even though I feel no one's really talked about Aaron being a target or anything?
Aaron, I feel like Aaron already is like that sweet, like that individual that you want to be friends with anyway. So the fact that she was giving them this information and like this like deal basically, and being like the sweet bubbly person I think she is. Oh, they were eating that up, and I would have been eating it up too. I'd be like, "We're besties, yes."
Yeah, I think it's good, except for the fact that people are worried about seeds right now. I don't think I'd be highlighting a banked vote either. But I do think it was good for Aaron. I really like have this feeling that Aaron is like a huge sleeper right now. And so the fact that she's saying like, "Oh, I'm willing to do this. Like, how do we want this to go?" Offering a banked vote does allow her to get perception of what's going on. Because if people think that you have like more power to make a move happen, they're more going to be more inclined to bring you in.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah, I liked that she kind of ran around with it like it was like the only vote in the game, and it was like, if you like, I have this, so like, if you want to work with me, don't put me up, and I will help you. I liked the pitch of it. I think it's a little early to be pitching a banked vote like that, just because there's like a gazillion other votes. But I like the thought process behind it because you could tell she's already like trying to game votes and like how to use that to her advantage.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely. She kind of was eating it up. She was in the right rooms this round, talking to the right people. She was kind of eating it down this round. I was like, okay, I see you.
And I feel like this was just like the episode of offers in general. Like everyone was just
Yeah,
kind of offering what they had.
Yes.
Because Aaron offered her bank vote, and then we also had Stephanie offering a seed to not be nominated. Once it kind of seemed like the vibe was her Trinity were going to go up big for having the most. What do we think about Stephanie offering her seed to stay off the block?
I think because Trinity also offered seeds to stay off the block and it worked for her. I guess we should just talk about both at the same time.
Right.
I think it was smart on her part, but I think she should have been more proactive with it. And like, I know that she didn't know that Trinity did it until like she got nominated. But like at that point, if everyone's talking about it, if I have 2 seeds and y'all are like, I'm gonna put you up because you have 2 seeds and you're gonna get a third and uproot, I'm gonna give both flowers a seed and be like, you both have one now. So you can't put me up, and if you do, it's gonna look really shady.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like what Trinity did.
So, Connor, Mackenzie, and Louie are having a conversation in the bed about the screen thumb plan, and Connor's basically like, "Well, me." Talking to Louie is like, "Me and you and Cody are gonna have this green thumb," and just going off right in front of Mackenzie, which I'm sure Connor's totally comfortable in front of Mackenzie just to openly talk about whatever plans that he's conjuring up. But if I'm Louie, I'd be like, why are you just like solidifying this perception that us 3 are together right in front of her and talking about how we're all planning the secret plan to like get this power for us 3?
My note was literally, if I was Louis, I'd say, bro, what the fuck are you doing saying this in front of Mackenzie? Because like it was like they were sat face to face and Mackenzie was just here. And I was like, what are you doing?
It was crazy.
I forgot about this conversation, but that is hilarious. If I were Lou, I'd be like, red flag, red flag, red flag.
Mm-hmm.
That's hilarious.
I love how bold Connor is. It honestly makes for great TV.
For sure. Like
Maybe
it's
Connor's
been
the
such a
talk of the
crazy
town.
first 2 rounds. Yeah.
He's getting his airtime. He's getting the airtime, baby.
Mm-hmm.
So JP tells Mackenzie that Cody is spilling information that Mackenzie said that Trinity is being aggressive and like, you know, she's a threat. And Mackenzie was like, me? I never said that, but like she kind of low-key did. How do we feel about JP running right back to Mackenzie to tell her?
I feel like JP is trying to make an ally out of Mackenzie, but I'm not sure how much Mackenzie's going to reciprocate that with JP.
Right.
Right.
That's kind of where I was at.
I agree as well. I don't know. I think Mackenzie's just like, oh yeah, sure, but like I don't know. She didn't seem like she even wanted to be a part of this conversation that they had anyway. So I don't know if she's going to reciprocate it. But I don't know how to feel about JP either. Like I respect
the effort from JP. I think like it can be a really good move to be like, hey, someone's spilling information because it's going to bring you closer. However, I feel like we're learning very quickly that like that information is just going to run as well, and you're just going to be caught in the crosshairs of it. So I just don't know how much this specific instance is going to benefit JP. But I think like it could buy him a little bit of favor. I'm just not really sure how much.
I'm like confused on where JP kind of stands in the game right now, because like you have the like very out there people, and then you have the people that are like very under the radar, and like JP's kind of like in this weird kind of like middle. Like we're getting like a lot from him because he's like in all the conversations, but we're like not getting like his actual thoughts. And I really want to see him like have a little confessional and like fill his game right now.
Yeah.
I agree fully, because you see him a lot in this round, but yeah, I'm not getting much from him, so I don't know where he stands either.
Yeah, I think we got that little confessional after he won immunity, and didn't he say he was feeling kind of comfortable, like at that moment or in this round? I mean, that was before the scramble, but I do want to know more.
I think he did mention that he felt comfortable, but Honey Bunny, I don't know why, because no one's really solidified anything with you. You've had conversations, but yeah, we all can talk, Kenny. Where's the on your marks, get set, make a deal, baby?
Yeah.
Right. On your marks, mama.
On your For whatever reason, I just have to say, when he said on your I thought he said on your mom at first, and I was like, what the fuck, Taylor? That's so not something I expected, so I'm glad to have this clarity.
So we kind of already talked about it, but Trinity ends up giving her seeds away, so that way she is not nominated, which leaves Connor kind of in a pickle. As we see, it takes Connor quite a while to make his nomination. But first, Cody makes his nomination and nominates Dylan and Stephanie. And then, like I said, Connor is kind of standing up there for quite a fat minute, trying to figure out what to do. Which, honestly, if I'm one of the people, would be a little suspicious to me, because like, do you have too many deals that you don't know who you're nominating, and then
Correct.
you're also like changing what you're doing? So how do you guys feel about these nominations?
I would like to say Cody sat there and complained the whole rest of the round that he didn't know that Connor was doing that and that Trinity gave away her seeds, and it wasn't fair because the very end it happened. She didn't give you any seeds. You didn't know in that moment. Like, he pulled you very last second. She gave me nothing. I have no proof that she gave away her seeds. Like, you can't sit there and complain that you got to change your nominations when you nominated first.
Right.
Like, you could have just been like, sorry, and then Cody could give her seeds back. Like, you can't sit there and complain about it.
Right.
And that's my thought process.
Right. You could have also done what you wanted and not let Connor kind of control what you did. So yeah. That's why I kind of feel like like I'm just like not loving him because of this, the whole issue with the complaining about this. I'm like, you could have done whatever you wanted. Like, what are you saying?
Yeah, but as far as taking forever, it doesn't look good, especially this early. I know I can't really talk my shit because I took like an hour to do noms, my season like final 5 or whatever. So I get it. I can empathize a little bit, but this early, it's just gonna have people being like, "What is taking you so long?" So
like we said, Dylan, Seth, and Stephanie are nominated. And it's kind of the discussion that everyone immediately thinks Stephanie is going to be the one to buy the uproot because she places her bid pretty quickly. And we see a little confessional from Erin saying she wonders if people are going to want to go for Dylan over Seth because Dylan's a threat. How do we feel with Erin already thinking more about threats rather than, just the easy targets?
I think she, I think kind of how I said Mackenzie is playing or thinking a few rounds in advance. Erin is doing that, except I think Erin sees the actual threat in Dylan, to where I feel like Trinity won't be as much of a threat just in terms of the social part of the game, because I feel like it'll be easier to turn things back onto Trinity than it will be with Dylan, because I think Dylan will be better at navigating his way out of having his back up against the wall if he's really a target.
Right. Yeah, Dylan, Dylan has a lot of allies at this point, but Dylan is already getting clocked. What I think is a little bit scary is I feel like his seeds were not clocked up until this point. Like everyone's
No.
talking about Trinity and Stephanie's seeds, but like how did Dylan's seeds get so undetected? Because it ultimately creates the warpath of Stephanie in the whole bidding process.
Plus, people just aren't even talking, like, people are talking about how Stephanie and Trinity are threats because they have seeds, and then when it's Dylan has 5 and he can outbid Stephanie, it's, oh, great, cool, that's totally fine.
Can we talk about the conversation that Stephanie and Dylan had when they Pinky promised, and how Stephanie didn't clock him for betting against her after that? Like, mama.
Well, I think she thought that everyone gave Dylan seeds to outbid her, and then that she was going to be targeted. Because I think like once she got put up, and then that bid happened, I think she thought it was like a whole like thing against her, where it was like everyone wanted Stephanie gone, which I think also moves back to, in her mind, she was like, it's the easy thing to get rid of the person without a duo. So I think it was just like one after another, after another, after another, and it just like all toppled for Stephanie.
Mm-hmm. It definitely did.
But in addition to Uproot, that was not the only thing we saw bids on. We also saw the Green Thumb. Like we've heard a lot of talk about it in the beginning of the episode, and then Connor does decide to pull the trigger on that one and go ahead and buy it. Thoughts?
It was smart for him to get hit.
He needs it.
You might as well. I mean, you're telling people about all these seeds you have and all these people you have and this huge mastermind plan. You might as well just buy it.
I do think it's smart to go for the Green Thumb when there is a bidding war for the Uproot, because then people are not going to be more likely to try and outbid you on the Green Thumb, similar to kind of how Ross did in All Stars. Ross said they're all fighting over this, so I'm going to scoop this up while I can. And I think it's smart to go for it during something like that, because then you run the risk of someone trying to outbid you.
That is true. It is smart to do that. Do I think Connor's mentality was on that path? No.
Yeah, I think he just thought whatever was going to happen, I'm placing this bid no matter what. But like,
but I do think it was a good move, especially this early, and it's draining seeds that he has as well, so no one can say shit about that. So I do think the timing of that was really well intentional. I don't know, because Connor's just kind of, I feel like, a fly on the seat of his pants kind of thing, but I think it worked.
It definitely did, for sure.
So we see Dylan, Stephanie, and Taylor lock in a final 3, and they want to go after Cody after this round. How do we feel about this 3 and their sudden want to go after Cody? And Connor said that he did just want the Green Thumb.
I like them all individually, and I think they would make a good like trio if Stephanie can dig her way back out of this round. I think it would work out really well. Taylor's a sleeper too, and could be a threat also. Like Taylor's kind of killing it right now, and then Dylan's Dylan. So I think it would work out if Stephanie can help herself get out of the situation she's in.
Yeah, I think it's a cute final 3.
I think theoretically, if this were the final 3, it's kind of giving other greenhouse teas in the fact that I feel like Stephanie and Dylan are very involved. Not that Taylor's not involved in the game, but I feel like Taylor's not caught up in the mess, to where I feel like people would feel kind of more scorned by people like Dylan and Stephanie in the end, to where like Taylor would like come through and snatch that win. Because they're like, he was nice to me. He was a great guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this cast is a little different because, like, it's not just the typical, like, friends of Taylor Luke from Louisiana. I feel like these are more, like, not to say that the people from Louisiana are not critical thinkers, but, like, more, like, involved in game theory. Like, I don't mean anything by that. I'm just, there are some people that get game theory, and then there are some people that are just there for the social connections and I want everyone to be honest and happy. And I feel like this group there's like 2 or 3 people that want everyone to be honest and happy, and everyone wants to backstab each other. So I think we could see something opposite, in where they might see Taylor, from just the 2 rounds that we've seen, not be as crazy involved in the game, and they might want to vote for Dylan or Stephanie because they've been out there from the beginning.
Exactly.
Right.
So yeah, it kind of seems like Cody's painting a big target on his back this round with being in power. A lot of people are whispering about Cody through the grapevine, not the grapevine. So how do you guys think Cody should move after this?
He should go hide in the bathroom until nominations are over.
Yes.
He'd win immunity.
Win immunity, win a flower, win first place so you can take Tulip and go on your apology tour. That's what you should do.
Very that. Yes.
I think he just also, for him, I think a big part is people are like, what is Cody doing? Like, why? And I think he's getting a lot of flack for that. So I think he just needs to like be intentional, and kind of explain, like, pick a few people that you think you could sell them in with and explain to them what you're doing and give them those reassurances. Because I think that's where a lot of the issues are. People are just like, what is he doing? Like, I don't get this, blah, 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 blah. He has this 3, but I think he just really needs to be intentional.
Do you guys think it's also a product of miscommunication, to where
For sure.
they don't trust Cody, to where they don't just bring it to him?
This cast is such loose-lipped and messy. Like, it for sure is miscommunication. That's why I think he needs to be really clear about, like, this is what I've done. This is maybe what you heard, but I think it's gonna, like, he needs to say that I think it's been twisted before it's too late.
I definitely agree with that. I think if he doesn't do exactly that, he's going to become the flip-flopper, and it's going to be bad for him. It's going to...
I don't think he'll have enough time to be the flip-flopper. I think he'll just get it put up and gone. Because I feel like there's so many people that are just like so outwardly against him right now, that it's just like, if he's up, like, everyone's going to be like, there's too many people that are going to vote him out. Like, we just need to vote him out.
Right, definitely.
And, like, he's clearly smart, and, like, he did the whole water cup thing. So people are seeing him do stuff like this, and they're not sure what he's doing. So it's just like, you got to pick a struggle almost. Like, you can either be like the strategic one, or you can be the flip-flopper, but like, you can't outwardly be both, or you're going to get booted really quick. So, but I need him not to, because my draft just took a hit, and so I can't take another yet.
He's got to go take a long shit next round.
So make sure to turn that mic off.
So we see Seth trying to get in on this little bidding war, which kudos for trying.
Kudos.
And he goes to JP and he's like, I'll give you my next 2 seeds if you give me 1. And he was like, I can't make this deal with many people because, like, I'm not gonna have enough seeds to keep making it. Would you trust giving someone a seed in hopes that they would pay you back double and that they were truly being honest about it?
It depends.
It definitely depends.
Because, like, I think I would trust Seth. I would not trust that Seth would be in the game long enough to do it at this point in the game. But like, if someone, I think like Taylor, maybe, like, just like, it just depends where I thought someone's game was at, because I think that'd be like a really good way. Like, I'm gonna help you out, because I don't know, even if they don't give you the seeds, I think they're gonna give you like a little bit of loyalty.
Right.
And if you tell them no, like, it's just gonna burn a bridge a little bit, you know, like, you kind of have to pick that battle. I think I might take the risk. Seth, I'd probably just be like, bro, like, I'm sorry. No.
I think with the situation with Seth, he was obviously desperately trying to get some kind of something. JP kind of clocked it. He's like, but you can't be telling that to everyone. So, like, you can only say that to like 1 or 2 people. So out of the desperation scenario that was happening with Seth, just really trying to get something, I would not have gone with that. No. I would have been like, oh, I'm going to keep mine.
Yeah. I think I would just have to depend on, like, if I thought that they were going to, like, I wouldn't want it to get out to other people either. I'd be like, That's got to be a me and you thing. I'd be a little bit nervous about Seth.
True.
Saying that he's known me for a few years if I gave him a seed.
And at this point, did JP already give it to Dylan, or was that like directly after?
It was like right after. It was like Dylan or JP ran upstairs with Mackenzie and was like, "Look, like Courtney and Connor are over there talking for a while," and then he's like, "I give my seed to Dylan." Like it was so random to me because it was like I don't think we saw a conversation where JP and Dylan talked at all, like before that, and then it was just like, "Here's a seed." So do we think that JP was just trying to?
Weren't they talking in the driveway when they talked about Rooster Teeth?
That was after.
It was after.
Because then he was like, "I gave you a seed. Like I'm trying to look out for." I guess that makes sense because then they know each other. So maybe it was like, "You're on the block. Let me help you." Like I don't want to see a friend go yet.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we can give props to JP because I think he is trying to really build the connections this round. So if he just did it and then talked after, because Dylan just said, "I didn't know he gave me it until he told me on camera." So maybe it was just a little like, "Hey, like let's do this." Because I want to say that like Dylan and JP did know each other before this game. So that might have played a role into it, like why we didn't see so much combo.
So speaking of the Courtney and Connor combo outside that people clocked was taking a while. Courtney was kind of telling Connor that he made a dumb move putting Seth up there. And she was like questioning the motive behind it because, Connor said that he told Seth, like, "I'm not going to put you up, like, we're good." And then he went right back around and did it. How would you feel if you were Connor in this situation, kind of having to, like, say your decision why to other people?
If I were him, I'd be shitting a brick. But I think he's confident enough in himself that he probably was chilling and vibing and being fine. But if I were him, I would have been freaking out.
Yeah. I mean, that is like, it's such a risk to not tell people beforehand that you're putting someone up. And so I don't know how much it really impacted Connor, but it probably should make him a little bit nervous. But it's also a little scary. I mean, not as much when there's no renom, but telling someone like Connor who has a lot of social power, like, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing?" kind of thing.
Thoughts, Edmund?
I agree.
None.
No thoughts in his head. So we see Stephanie start her warpath where she goes outside and Trinity and Cody are having a conversation, and Stephanie figures out that Trinity gave Dylan a seed. Stephanie goes to walk away, and Trinity's like, "Well, I have information if you want it." And then we see Stephanie walk right back. How do we feel with that whole interaction? Because it became a very prominent thing that Trinity brought up for the rest of the round.
I honestly can't blame her because if I'm like trying to explain it to you, then you just walk off, I'm going to feel a certain way too. So Trinity, I think, did it like approached it correctly because I would have been pissed myself. But yeah, Trinity, I can understand why Trinity kind of ran with it because it would have rubbed me heavily the wrong way.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks for Stephanie because I think Stephanie was just like so overwhelmed in the moment. Like it wasn't an intentional, like I'm walking away from you, but like if my ass is on the line and I don't think like I can't register what you're giving to me, like I'm going to walk away. But it just like was such a bad moment. But I mean, if someone stormed off for me and like they're a nom, like, yeah, you're going to tell people. And so like, I don't blame Trinity for telling people either. Cause it's just like, I mean, these games are just talking shit and getting people out. And so it just like gave her a talking point. So
very good. Very valid. Very valid.
Yeah, I feel like with both, I like see their point of like why one was mad and why the other one like talked shit. Because like if I was Stephanie, I would feel the same way and I would want to walk away.
Yeah.
And, like,
100%.
But if I was Trinity, I'd be like, "Hello?" Like
you should not be walking away from anyone right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like y'all said, I think Stephanie was starting to like be overcome with emotion, which we start to see because she's like, well, now I'm being shut out of all the rooms and no one wants to talk to me, and basically just starts her Stephanie spiral, which a lot of people did have a lot to say about that, which I want to kind of wait to talk about that until we get to the vote because I'll wait on that. But yeah, so Stephanie starts crying. I think she's just kind of overwhelmed at this point. People are kind of turned off by it. So how would you guys feel about that?
It's
Was someone
hard.
crying?
It's hard. I agree.
It's hard. Because I think everyone should be able to like feel the emotions, and I think it just shows. I think Taylor had posted on a story today, like Zach's comment, like we are all people. Like it's kind of like when you see someone who wants to play so badly, like it like kind of like breaks your heart, and like it means something, and like these are very real feelings, and I think people should play with like everything in them. But like on a game level, like it is like a little bit concerning to the point where like if someone is like that invested, like it is like could be a potential problem in the future. But I mean, like I think it sucks it rubbed people the wrong way. I feel like you can hate on it from a game standpoint and like this is concerning, but I don't think that there should ever be hate of like, hey, this person is crying. Because sorry, they care so much about something. Like what? Like they should care about it.
Right.
Yeah, I think with it being so early, I get why people are like, oh, like this is like a little concerning
That's
because like she's so
true.
invested. But like people just like process things a completely different way. And like you don't know how you're gonna feel if you get put up on the block until you do. Like she had like the feeling that she was gonna go up, but like once you hit the block, like you don't understand like what that is. Like if you've never played a live game or anything, like in real life is so different than like online games.
Mhm.
So
Definitely, for
Stephanie,
sure.
cry all you want, because baby, it works.
It did
And
work. It did work.
it did. It lit a fire under her ass, and she went to work. In those tears, baby, you cry, honey. She needed a tissue. Where was the tissue?
But Edmund, I do
don't
want to hear
It was
your
the
remember.
take
vape.
on it.
I did see her with her vape.
Well, because I feel like with allies in games, like if you're crying round 2, I don't know if I can put stock into you to be able to control your emotions when we are in like more like tighter situations, you know what I mean? So that would like concern me a little bit as a game player, but also because I feel like I don't remember who, but I feel like I remember someone saying like, oh, she's like kind of using emotion to her advantage in a way. I don't really remember who said that. I feel like that was kind of brought
Come
up
on,
though.
I
Edmund.
think it was.
And then shut up. And then but also you did see some people be like, well, she's just really invested and she really cares about being here. So maybe the emotions were working in that way that other people were accusing her of.
Yeah,
But I think that was just Stephanie being Stephanie.
I think it was too.
Yeah.
I agree.
I do think it worked for her here. I do worry that if she does go up again and is like super passionate, that it's not going to be received the same way. So, I mean, Stephanie's always going to like wear her heart on her sleeve. I just like I think she's going to have to use her words a lot more if this situation does happen too, because I think people will get even more worried or even more turned away by it. Not saying you should or shouldn't be turned away by that, or that you should or shouldn't be emotional. But I think that emotional appeal only works so much until it doesn't.
Absolutely.
For sure.
I feel like since it's happened so early, it's going to be really difficult if this happens again to recover a second time. So she might need to. I don't know. It's Stephanie. We all know Stephanie, so it's
we love
different.
Stephanie.
Yeah.
We all are friends with Stephanie. We've known her for years. So for us, it's we just know that's who she is. So it's we have a little bias with Stephanie.
Speaking of using emotions to your advantage, do you think Mackenzie making this deal with Stephanie while she was kind of in distress was Mackenzie playing on Stephanie's emotions?
I do.
I think it was Mackenzie.
I do.
I think it was Mackenzie seeing the playing field and what she could do to help better herself. I don't think she was necessarily like playing on her emotions, but she was like, if you want to give me seeds since everyone's talking about them, like I'll take them and you can do whatever you want with the vote. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think she was maliciously doing it necessarily. I think she was being a businesswoman and she saw a chance to make a little bit money. And, you know,
Mhm.
you use every factor to your advantage. Stephanie really wanted to stay, and Mackenzie was like, you know what? Like she had more power in this situation to get a
Mhm.
seat out of her in that moment. But I mean, she did follow through. So I feel like if you're going to do something like that, you have to follow through and you can't be slimy. Like it would be crazy if Mackenzie took a seat in that moment. Yeah, I mean, it worked for her, but it was.
It was kind
And
of a
no one
great.
here on this call is above doing that either. So like, we got to give it to her.
No, absolutely. I loved it. I thought it was great. Mackenzie even said during her tulip speech that she got her money, and she did.
I think that's like one of the first like prominent times I've seen someone sell their banked votes. Like they went to someone didn't come to them and be like, I will give you seeds if you block my vote. Like she like went to the nominee and was like, I will block whoever you want if you give me seeds. I was like,
Yeah, I do think it's a
okay.
good strategy. Yeah,
It
for
was a
sure.
really good.
Yeah.
It was really great. Mackenzie kind of low key ate with that.
She
Maybe
did.
the
Mama said she only needed her personality, and she is right.
She is right.
we love a businesswoman, girls.
So Kai, Connor, Trinity, Dylan, Aaron, and Taylor, pretty much almost all the voters, are outside and they're talking about the vote between Seth or Stephanie, saying one's emotional and one is like one's emotional and a threat, and the other one is a loose cannon with their information because they just say whatever is on their mind. If you were in this position in the second round of the game, who would you vote out?
I would hate to say I'm biased, but I would want Seth to leave because if Stephanie is still gonna be acting this way, I think it's gonna turn people off even more to where I feel like Seth has more room to bounce back. Not saying that Stephanie can't bounce back because I think she has the ability to do it, but I feel like it'll be easier for her to be a target than Seth moving forward. Because now, like you kind of see, like people are not saying that people are making a joke out of Seth, but they're kind of like, oh, like that's Seth, haha, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To where I feel like people would be more willing to get over certain things that he does because that's just Seth, ha ha ha, you know.
100%. I
For
absolutely
sure.
agree. I feel like you just clocked the T for exactly why I would do the same thing. Keeping Stephanie in the game, she's already painted this huge target on her back. That means I can sit pretty for a little bit longer if she doesn't win immunity because people are going to eye the idea of putting her up again. Probably. Unless I think we all know she has the ability to crawl out of this for sure. She's going to fight to do so, which she did to not leave. So she can definitely do it to get out of the hole in general. But I would vote out Seth as well. I would rather have a target than a loose cannon, Gurley, because that loose cannon could come from me. He isn't necessarily going to go for the targets.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, obviously, if it was Stephanie, I would not want Stephanie out. But like, just in like a general sense of like these two types of players, I don't know. I think I might keep Seth because Stephanie is so well. You guys are gonna say this. I hate women, but it's because Stephanie is so
You said it,
passionate.
girl.
Like, shut the fuck up. Stephanie is like super passionate, and Stephanie is loyal. So like, if I was playing with someone like Stephanie and knew how loyal she was, yes, I'd want to keep her around, because I think the target will be there. But like Seth has like no one, and I get it could be problematic if he like keeps staying round after round. But if everyone kind of sees him as like the comedic relief, and he doesn't have anyone, I would for sure want him as an ally. I would just be like, shut the fuck up, like Kai was doing, which is
Yeah.
why I think Seth staying for Kai would have been really good. And like,
For sure.
even though he's a loose cannon, if you give someone like Seth reassurance, he's not going to come against you. Like, you just have to constantly tell him, like, he's not threatening to me in the sense that, like, I don't think he's as strategic. So you just use him as a number. But I don't know. It comes with risks. But obviously, like, I think Stephanie knows the game better, which is more dangerous than Seth.
100%.
Yeah.
And speaking of Seth saying whatever, and being a loose cannon with information, he, in front of pretty much everyone, even Dylan, calls Dylan a threat and that he moves with intentionality. Do we agree? Does Dylan move with intentionality?
Yeah. You know what? Yeah. Well, yes, we do agree, but would we have?
Yes.
Well, yes, we do.
Well, yes. Do we want Seth saying that in front of us, in front of a whole group of people? Well, no.
Well, no.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. If he had said that about me, I'd be fucking mortified. I'd be pissed.
I'd be pissed.
And would any of
Like,
us?
I'm not officially off the block yet. Like, come on. Like, hold up a minute. Like,
I don't think people really like. I mean, I think we'll see more about how people felt about that conversation later. I don't think Dylan should have doubled down and said that's what you get for coming for me, because I don't know how much people like read that. Like, people know that Seth just talks, talks, and so I think it was a bad move on Seth's part.
It was great TV.
Not let that get better.
oh, I loved it.
Oh, I loved it.
So good.
It was good TV, but yeah,
and
no.
Like in that moment, like Dylan just has to play it so fucking cool, and I just know he was fucking fuming.
I'm ready for the Dylan confessional to start next episode. Ha, Seth, that's what you get. Like, I already know.
With his titties. and he will. Oh, Seth.
But to kind of end,
to
kind of end the strategy session, we see Kai, Cody, JP, and Dylan all kind of have a little kiki. Was it all of them, or was it just like a few of them talking, and then like we find out that they all used to work together at Rooster Teeth, which another game, another Rooster Teeth alliance. Do we think that this four of Kai, Cody, JP, and Dylan is gonna be able to make it to the end, or do you think it's even gonna be like a real thing?
No.
Only because, like, I think, like, had there not been drama with the Cody stuff, maybe. But, like, Dylan already wants Cody out. So, like, I think it's more likely that 3 of them proceed forward, not 4.
No.
I see it being 2, and I don't even think the 2 are going to be together. I think it's going to be Dylan and Kai, because Cody's going to want to go, and then I think JP is just going to get, like, snuck. Like, he's going to be, like, the easy, we all need a round. And it's not going to be from their doing. I think it's just going to be like JP kind of goes.
So they could be loyal to each other, but just not make it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because like I could see, like, since Stephanie's kind of pushing the, like, I want to see the women do well. Like, if it ends up being like Kai and like JP on the block for some reason together, like Kai stays over JP.
Yes, I definitely agree with. I think those are the 2. Dylan and Kai are absolutely going to be the 2 of that group. Dylan literally told Stephanie that he would tell Cody to his face that he's coming for him. So,
which I want to see.
And Dylan wants everyone to know that he never worked at Risotto Tea. Sorry.
Clock the tea. Clock the tea.
Not a t-shirt guy.
Never heard of her.
So the vote is flipping back and forth. Ultimately, strategy time is over. Auction is over. Dylan buys the uproot with 5 seeds, and Connor purchases the green thumb with 4 seeds. Dylan uproots himself, leaving the final nominees of Seth and Stephanie. What did you guys think about their final plays?
Can we back up to just one more conversation between Courtney, Aaron, and Kai?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I feel like that was like a big thing. Another move on Aaron. Aaron went in and said, hey, I just want to let you 2 know what's happening, because I think it was pretty obvious that Courtney and Kai both wanted Seth to stay. But then I think Kai even said, hey, it's going to be 3-3. Like, let's just let it happen. Because, I mean, this ended up being a very close vote. How much do you think that conversation changed things?
I think it absolutely changed things. I think it.
Yeah. I think so. I don't think Kai would have voted the way she did.
I don't think Courtney did vote the way she would have.
Courtney got her vote blocked, right?
Yeah,
Oh
Courtney
yeah, just kidding,
and
just kidding.
Courtney and Louis got their votes blocked. I don't know because one voted Stephanie and one voted Seth. So like that's what's confusing to me about it because it's like if we're having a conversation about it at the end of the day, like I think they just voted however they felt.
I
So
guess
I
I
don't know
just
if it
thought
really
Kai in
swayed.
particular, like Kai wanted Stephanie to go, but Kai voted
That's true.
Seth to go.
I don't know,
Especially
I
after
think-
her conversation with Seth and basically saying, "Bitch, shut up."
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it did flip Kai, and Aaron thought maybe I didn't flip it, and so Stephanie's just gonna go anyways, and then that's an interesting take on it.
I think we're gonna get some Kai feedback after. Like I was like waiting for the camera to show her face during that vote because it was so close. So I'll be interested to see like her rant, her pop off, honestly. Yeah.
Alrighty, so by a close vote of 4-3, Seth has been banished. Rip
Rough.
Seth. Rip
He does like
Matthews, man.
crazy eyes at the end, or he's like,
Oh, not the crazy eyes.
He definitely takes some time with his prance out the door. But Seth has been banished. How do you guys feel about it?
Well,
I'm glad Stephanie's still here because I know she will go Stephanie spiral again, and it made for great TV. So I'm ready for more of it. But for my good sister, I hope that she doesn't do it because like I know that's a lot.
Right.
So, but I think TV wise, I think we will get more out of Stephanie because I think Seth was kind of running kind of flat with his how much more funny he could be.
I definitely agree.
I
with
don't
that.
know. I think that he would have continued the same shit, which is the only reason I'm sad. Like, I don't think that we're missing out on Seth's impact game wise, unless it was just something that he like misinforms and it goes crazy. Like, I don't think we're missing out on strategy just because of Seth. I personally hate the nods because I love Stephanie, love Dylan, and Seth was funny. But out of the three, like it was Seth's time. Like we're gonna get way more from Dylan and Stephanie.
That I love two of you, but I don't love.
I don't know Seth like that. I don't. Like, I know he doesn't like popcorn or whatever, but that's like it.
Yes, we're all four biased in this conversation about who we wanted to stay. Stephanie was. I thought Stephanie was leaving for like half of the episode, and I was getting ready to cry myself for her, and I was going to come in here in all black if she would have left. And would have. So yeah, I agree. It was definitely Seth's time to go out of the three. Dylan's playing a really good game. It would have been like robbed if he would have gone. And then Stephanie is our good Judy sister, and she's gonna light a fire under some of these people's asses. I feel because she's gonna come next round. She's coming swinging, and it's gonna be good.
I need to see greenhouse.
I need Stephanie in the greenhouse. I feel like who do we think would shake it up the most next week? I think Stephanie,
Connor, and like Dylan.
Connor. I was thinking Dylan. I kind of want to see a change from Connor though a little bit.
And then Connor uses his green thumb.
Maybe Aaron. I kind of would love an Aaron, Stephanie, maybe Dylan.
Oh
yeah, I just want to see some people who are under the radar to win.
I don't want I feel like I want Stephanie and Dylan in the greenhouse because then they're in trouble. Even like a Stephanie, Dylan, Trinity, like all the people who are just
Trinity would be interesting. We're definitely rooting for Stephanie and Dylan.
But now we have the green thumb, so maybe we do want Connor.
I will die. I will laugh so hard. I would be like, this guy is killing it. That might change. I might be a Connor stan if he does that.
Do we agree with Sean's comment? Yes or no?
Ooh,
yeah.
I could see it.
Yeah,
I could see it.
Because the other two gave know about the plan. I feel like Stephanie was the one who didn't. But
alrighty, so Stephanie does get to live to see another day.
Yay!
We'll be anticipating what she will do in the coming round. But speaking of this round, who do we think was the MVP of the round?
I want to
I'm
go
going
first.
first this time.
Mackenzie.
No.
Mackenzie.
Fuck you!
Definitely. Pick someone else.
Yeah. No, it definitely
I'll
wasn't
pick Aaron.
Mackenzie.
I'll pick Aaron.
I feel like we never did. You had to pick someone different before, but I kinda
Literally, yeah.
New year, new season, new rule.
Oh shoot! Now I
Get the
don't know who to
badunkadunk
pick.
tank out.
Yeah, Mama Mackenzie.
Honestly, if we can't pick the same people, because I also would say Mackenzie as like the general one, I would say for saving her own ass, because I think she did Stephanie, because she really flipped people's minds. I think so.
Yep. And she did try. Like I feel like her being up was out of her control. Like it wasn't to the fault of her own.
Well, I wrote the rules, so I don't follow them. So I think the MVP.
You barely show up.
Wow. It's an old tired joke, Mama. Come up with something new. Anyways,
A new rule.
Mackenzie was the Mackenzie was the clear MVP of the round. She was the tulip. She basically got her way. She knew everything going on. She got no pushback for anything that happened. Cody took a lot of the blame and a lot of the heat. So I would say Mackenzie for sure.
And she is.
Alrighty. Anything else to say about this round of the greenhouse?
Messy.
It's round 2, and this cast is eating it down. So who knows what's going to happen next? Because this was like one of the best greenhouse episodes probably ever. Honestly.
I feel like this season, I don't even know. I feel like they probably all have each other's numbers blocked.
I just know that group chat is popping off every week.
We just know they're gonna try and bring back a reunion.
Oh gosh.
Please.
Taylor
We don't talk about her
Taylor specifically said in this round the reunion that they won't be filming. So I fear we got the reunion canceled.
Ooh, you see what Dylan said?
She MZ update.
Interesting. Well, you're all gonna have to tune in.
What episode are we in?
I think that was just 5.
It was 5.
So it's next.
A lot of the fallout.
Is that why
giving us
the thumbnail for next episode is a greenhouse logo? They didn't want to spoil what was happening.
Nope.
Because normally it's a wig. Is it wig week? I remember Taylor Luke saying something about they did a wig week.
Oh, girl, we're gonna be clocked into episode 6.
Drop it to us
It's not a
right
leak.
now.
That is a wig right there. Where's the camera?
That's the wig.
That was like
That's
the wig.
We're not ready.
I'm ready to see a bunch of shake and goes. And these players need to start going.
On your marks, get set.
On your marks. The players are ready to go. So everyone tune in to the next episode of The Greenhouse, which is supposed to be the best episode of The Greenhouse ever. Ooh. At the link below, tune in Sundays and Thursdays. And Dusty, thank you for joining us this week.
Thank you guys for having me. You know, you can always invite me. I'll always be here, baby.
Period. And then we will see you guys next week for an all-new recap of The Greenhouse Season 7 with another special guest. Fiercely invited guest, that is.
We love you, Valencia.
Yes, love Valencia. Love Taylor Luke. Good night, everyone.